Wicked. Wicked tones, you know.
This is the first bicep machine I've seen that actually has the angle of how the arm's supposed to move, designed into the machine. The handle starts out here and it comes in like a natural arm bend. Wow. Literally like curves on this path inside. Doesn't try and pour out or come up flat. It comes in. The genius is that Gymleco.
Gymleco from Sweden.
Yeah, Gymleco. Product of Sweden. A lot of people don't understand too when they do bicep that if I'm putting weight into this arm pad, which is why it's fucking here, like to be able to displace weight, to like put pressure down into the pad, to be able to hold my arm in a position of tension on my bicep. So even when I take the weight off, I'm tricep pressure down, holding on bicep and hand. I'm not here going like that for all you wrist curlers out there. So it's a flat wrist and it's locked palm is on this knuckle and I'm sliding up. So if I'm really leaning onto that, my shoulder is gonna rock at the depth and then rock back down. If I wanna just stay stiff and go here, I'll come to right about there. But if I wanna reach more, I have to dig in and drop. So I'm rocking into bicep. So when you see people's shoulders, some people's shoulders are just rocking because they're just trying to whatever, but if I'm following the tension on this pad, my shoulder will stay down, but if I have to reach more, I have to cradle bicep a bit. So shoulder's gonna pop up and then rock down when I curl, right? To protect. I'm not trying to fucking tear my bicep. Like getting these full ranges of motion. Understand that like my bicep here is stretched, but if it's here, it's just a stretch. It's not much difference, right? So I'd rather come to like a cushioned bottom than like an absolute stretch lockout. Not to say that these guys who are doing these curls like this, it's a little too much. It's like if my arm catches, rolls forward, it's just enough momentum to get this shoulder to cradle that bicep a bit and then roll through on everything. So even if I'm here, I'm rocking and through. Just to get momentum to be able to drive down and scoop that arm up. Flex into bicep, not flex hand to shoulder, which is fucking forearm, right? It's just the same idea. This is like this is an awkward angle for me just because of my shoulder. It's good for most people. My shoulder is fucked, so I do this one arm. So I'm just literally, it's the same way I curl when I'm here. I'm curling off a rigid body. Now I'm just finding that rigidness up higher and allowing my weight to be down here so I can catch and roll. So I'm almost rolling this shoulder down and arching my back a bit here and rocking my hand up into me. So my wrist stays flat. When you guys and girls curl, if your wrist isn't staring at you at the top, you're curling wrist too much. And curling wrist is fucking like, people are the guy I talked to was like, that maximizes contraction. I know guys with the biggest arms. I train at Revive in fucking Florida. And everyone there does that. It's like, first of all, no they don't, because you don't know them and you're not working out with them. You have no fucking clue what you're talking about. Just because you work out at a gym where good guys go doesn't mean you're good. Like, there's a lot of good guys that come here. Does everyone who come here running around saying they know Quentin and they know Antoine personally and they know how they train? But they see them every day, right? You have no clue what they're doing. But yeah, it's just like understanding that bicep curls is not so much about hand grip as much as it's leverage on palm. So even here, I'm not gripping my palm. I'm catching on my hand and I'm sliding my hand up while driving force down here and scooping. So I could stay open palmed if I wanted, but the more I put pressure into my palm, the more connection I get to my bicep, right? But you're never gonna see me pick up a bait and go like this, and then go, or get up to the top and then curl in. Like these guys that do this curl in or this turn out shit, that's nonsense that's been passed down and passed down and passed down. It needs to end somewhere. Like today is a good day for that to end. It's okay. Let it go, man. It's like Bill Burr says in the fucking, have you seen the special? Bill Burr, and he's talking about he let go of like religion and all that stuff. He's like, I let it go, just like a curling rock. So it drifted away. That's what you guys need to do with these exercises. And this style of lifting, like whatever it is. You don't even know where, You don't even know where it came from. It came from a guy who told another guy who told your buddy. Like, and none of them are like anywhere near like understanding how their body moves or what they should be doing. Like, it's just crazy. Or they'll do the, like we said before, they'll point to like a pro and be like, you did that. It's like, yeah, he also did a lot of other shit. You also think he's fucking natty. I'm gonna be known and go down in history as the man who got all bodybuilders to stop deadlifting. Stop wasting your time. You're not a power lifter. We'll do the hang and curl that we did. People thought this was like so cool, but like literally like the most basic thing. I'll take it though, whatever. The best thing to think about when you do any type of bicep curl, and that's why the beauty of cables are such great things, like because they teach people tension. Obviously there's no tension here other than this like dumbbell floating in air. So I can pick it up any direction I want. I can move it forward and back. So there's no tension point, right? So understanding that like I almost want to feel like these curls that I'm doing is like this dumbbell has a cable to the floor. So if I was curling this cable off the floor and pulling up through, this is how it would move, because I'm initiating from down and up. I'm not trying to pull across like a lot of people try and do. They grab dumbbells and they do this. You see their arm drift this way first. So if we understand that we're just hanging here, then I'm getting pulled down to tension again, because it's pulling the dumbbell down to the ground. Up, up. Find your angle, whether you like to lean more, so you're able to swing the arm more, or you want it up and tighter to your body. You can play with angles. Once you're set and you're set, if you don't like the angle, fucking change it. No one's keeping track. Like having a rigid back on curls, locking down like we do, like pinning here, and basically where my low lat and my elbow are is where I'm rocking up through. But there's also like a tuck in here where I'm like armpit pressuring, like squeezing my armpit into my body almost. So like I'm almost tucking shoulder and scooping to keep myself stable here. So I don't get this happening when I get tired. It's always this like driving down through things. So I'm like breaking elbow and then squeezing into armpit lat where it meets right here. That's keeping my pressure down on the bar, right? It's just like little shit that people don't think of. And if you really analyze your movement, or you look at guys who have good movement, you'll see these little nuances of like why does he look like he's straining so hard right there, but everything else is relaxed? Or how come his arm isn't moving off his body, right? There's reasons for that, because subconsciously these people might be doing it and not even noticing. But like if you really, that's why it's even good to, or guys who are really good at lifting, they can think to themselves like, what am I doing right now? That like, what's the process of what I'm doing? Because I understand if I just pick up weight, I know how to curl it. But if I compartmentalize that and break it down for myself, if I had to explain it to you, I can't just say pick up the dumbbell and curl it like this and show you. I have to be like, okay, well, like how are my levels? Are my shoulders level, or is one lower? Am I like slouched down in this shoulder or up in this shoulder? Is my chest up or is it tucked in? Like, where am I positioning myself to feel that maximally, right? So that'll make people better trainers, and you'll become a more advanced lifter if you start doing that in your own lifting. So that's what I'm saying. When you pick this up, this isn't heavy weight. I better grab a 25. I want to look cool for the video. So do it for the gram. But it's like we don't have to, like I said, if I want to create more space here, this is just simply to base off of, so that I'm not just standing in midair going and having nothing to balance off or put force into to keep myself balanced, right? So I'm leaning on this, not like falling forward, but to keep myself a little postured, to create a little length here. I'm on this, right? So I can tuck in here like we did. I can curl off my body. So right now my arm's not on my body. I'm just raking in midair, rocking. Or I can draw my arm up into my body more, and I can rock from hip and shorten that curl. So this is the first one, hanging out here, breaking, elbows floating. Now I'm tucked in, tight here, rocking with the body motion more, coming up through. So I might get closer to the bench and rock up through. Just finding where you want to hit, right? What feels better. Might feel better to be tucked in, moving with the flow of the body. Give yourself a little more power. Or you might want to really isolate and have that arm dangling and be like, fuck you, arm, you're doing it yourself, right? Like, not giving you any help other than motion. So I got to snap that bicep up. You also shouldn't curl a barbell until you're completely sunken. So I'm pulled down as much as I can be in my shoulders with this much weight. I'm set in my traps and I'm locked into my mid-back. So I'm not even here a bit or up here a bit. Everything's pulling down, even my chin is down. So when I go to rock forward here, I can tuck elbow in. I can push chest out now, rock. So I can get that break in the elbow where the lat meets the body, low lat, and we can tuck into that armpit and roll up through. This is the only height I need right here. If I want to push up to higher, I can, but understand that I'm not holding tension on the down much. My negative sucks. So here I'm keeping constant tension on the bicep and I'm moving with bicep. So I have to hold tension when I go down to let that bicep pull me down. I can't just go, you know what I mean? That's what they mean by like people understanding like the tension of a negative. A negative is like you letting it down with control. It doesn't have to be a negative like this.
Yeah.
Oh. Like, the slower I go, the more I'm tearing down. No, you're not. You're just going slower, man. A quicker negative will elicit more of a fucking reaction than a fucking slow one. I'd be willing to bet money that there's fucking evidence to back that up. I can post a study if you want, because I have one. Yeah. But someone else will find one that says the opposite. So we'll just have to agree to disagree. Especially on leg development. It's like your negative speed directly impacts how much muscle how much like hypertrophy activity is going on. You're building more muscle with a quicker negative on the leg than you are on going slow. So if I'm taking a hack squat down and I'm, or if I'm just like, boom, holding the tension, knowing that elasticity feeling, right? That's what time under tension is. It's an elastic feeling in the sense that but it's not taking the elastic and going, you know what I mean, and going like this with it. Yeah. It's literally like understanding how far will it go, and how smoothly can I bring it back to where it started. So I want to keep the original form and I want to open to where I feel maximum tension, and then I want to bring it back to that form. I don't want to go smash it to where it's like nothing and then pull it, or bring it in really slow and then really slow back out. It's just keep with the tension of the band, keep with the tension of the muscle, depending on what muscle you're training. Bicep, it might need to be a little slower. Not going to be a really good idea to do a negative of bicep like this, or to do like this. It's got to be somewhere in that middle ground, right?